Hey guys, hey, I am Nurse Porchae, and if you're new to this channel, here on this channel, we discuss all things nursing, health, and finances. As you can tell from the title of this video, today we're gonna get into why I chose LPN versus RN. Let's get into a little bit of my journey so that it all makes sense. So I began my journey as an LPN. Later, I did the LPN to RN bridge program, and then I got my bachelor's degree, and lastly, I got my master's degree in nursing. If you are interested in learning more about my complete journey and how I completed 4 nursing programs completely debt-free, I have created a small ebook that you can pick up right here. I'll put the link in the description, or you can watch this video with another YouTuber that basically goes in depth into all of my journey and everything I did to essentially complete these programs. Lastly, I offer a mentorship for those who are trying to decide which route is best for them and their specific situation. And so make sure that you check out the description of this video. Okay, now back to what you came for. So if I'm going to be completely honest, I chose LPN over RN initially because I really didn't expect to keep going back and getting all of these degrees that I have. And so my intention was to complete the LPN program and be completely done. At the time that I did the LPN program, I already had 2 kids, I was married, and so I needed something like ASAP. And so another reason is that I thought that the LPN program would be a little less difficult than the RN program. I did not really believe that I could complete an RN program. Like, I just didn't believe in my abilities, right? God was very instrumental in the entire process, y'all. Like, people ask me all the time, like, how did you know to do X, Y, Z? I did not. Like, I literally prayed and I literally just applied and went from there. And I literally was being led through the entire thing. I take no credit whatsoever. I feel like God was completely instrumental in my journey. That's why if you were to pick up the ebook, you'll see the scriptures that I meditated on. You'll see my prayers. You'll see everything. So if you are at a place where you're trying to decide if LPN or RN is the right route for you, here are some key points that I want you to consider, okay? Number 1, I want you to consider the length of the program. So the LPN program is a year versus the RN program that is 2 years. Now, I want you to also keep in mind that you also have to do your prerequisites, and that is not included in that year and that 2 year of the RN program. And so you're looking at a big difference in time between the 2 programs. So that is something that you need to consider based on your family, based on your support system. Number 2, which is a very important point, and I think that people don't think long-term enough. And sometimes you may make the wrong decision if you are not thinking long-term, but this is a very important point to me. I think that you should consider, what are your long-term goals? And honestly, when I sat and was going back and forth between the 2 programs, I did not think about long-term goals. I was thinking about right now. Again, I was a mother of 2 and a wife of about 5 or 6 years then. And so I was working as a dialysis technician, but I needed something that could be completed right away, right? And I can get started working. But had I had the end goal in mind, my long-term goal, I would have thought like, okay, where do I want to see myself in 10 years, in 20 years in the nursing field, and which degree would help me get there. I ended up working as a hospice nurse. I worked in a clinical research coordinator position. I worked in dialysis. I've worked in home health, and currently I'm working from home. So once I learned about the non-bedside positions, I then was like, okay, that will be my long-term goal, is that I want to work from home. If that's your long-term goal, it's very important to consider being an RN versus an LPN, because there are just more remote nursing positions for RNs versus LPNs. Are there still remote positions for LPNs? Yes, there are. So if you're considering your long-term goals, then that really matters. Do you want to work in a management position? While there are management positions for an LPN, at the end of the day, an LPN still has to have an an oversight of an RN. They still need an RN to do certain things because their scope only allows so many things. And so that is something to consider when you are deciding whether you want to do the LPN or the RN program. Now, number 3 is a very big one as well. You want to consider your financial obligation between the two programs. So while LPN is a cheaper program, RN offers more over the long span of time. So while I was able to get through both programs completely free, I did not have to worry about tuition costs. I even got assistance with like books and daycare expenses, gas, all of those things that were very helpful. And then my husband worked full-time during my program, so I didn't have to worry about living expenses. So even if you are to work with me and I help you get the cheapest school and I help you, do all the things to get in a really affordable program, you still have to factor in your living expenses because you have to live. Where will you stay? Will you require to pay rent? Will you have utilities? Do you have enough money saved up for that? Because while you may be able to get assistance the way I did for like some of your living expenses, it's not going to cover like your rent or your mortgage or things like that. So I would say the bigger expenses, your living expenses, so that's super important because you don't want to incur all of this debt to do this program because you're thinking, okay, once I finish, I'll be able to make 200, whatever, thousands of dollars. Because while you will have a potential of being able to make that, initially you will not be able to make that amount of money. And also, if you're on the road and your goal is to be financially free and to build financial wealth, these type of things you have to consider before picking a program. Financial obligations are super important. And so I would say lastly, that is something to sit with and think about when you are deciding whether to go to the LPN to the RN program. And so I hope this video was very helpful. Please let me know if you guys have any questions, answer it. Make sure you like and subscribe. Lastly, if you're interested in finding out if I had it all over again to do what I would do differently, check out this video where I talk about what I would do differently. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like what you've seen, make sure you like and comment, and I promise you, I'll keep them coming. Bye.